What if the frozen wasteland woke up hungry? Right now, Antarctica's a dead continent, where the largest land predator's just a tiny insect. But imagine its 3-mile-thick ice sheet suddenly disappearing, freeing 70% of the world's fresh water. If Antarctica were a tropical rainforest again, right now, would you brave the wild? Or become prey to ghosts from the past? To most of us, Antarctica's a blinding white desert. It's a hostile void. Temperatures down there routinely shatter the limits of biological endurance. But to planetary scientists, that ice is just a temporary visual illusion. It's a frozen lid slammed shut over a world that used to be incredibly alive. But what happens if that lid melts tomorrow? Stick with me, because later in this video, we are going to look at the terrifying reality of a modern-day green Antarctica. From a sudden 200-foot sea level rise that would drown coastal megacities, to the horrifying biological mysteries waiting to be thawed out. But to survive Antarctica's apocalyptic future, you first need to understand its brutal past. Let's rewind 190 million years. We're plunging into the heart of the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Earth's most powerful cooling machine, the Antarctic circumpolar current, didn't exist yet. Tightly packed continents blocked it. Antarctica was the beating heart of the supercontinent Gondwana. It was physically bolted to Australia, India, and South America, acting as a superhighway for biological titans. Carbon dioxide was sky high. The greenhouse gases trapped the sun's heat. During summer, mean highs reached 77 degrees Fahrenheit. You're looking at a climate equivalent to present-day Kenya, sitting at the bottom of the world. The magnificent landscape was unrecognizable. Forget the pathetic moss clinging to rocks today. This was a hyper-dense, vibrating jungle. It was a lush, chaotic, green paradise. But paradise always demands a staggering survival cost. If you were dropped into this dinosaur-infested jungle with just a survival knife, how long would you honestly last? Drop your survival time in the comments right now, because the predators I'm about to show you will change your answer. This prehistoric canopy was a breeding ground for monsters. At the top of the food chain was Cryolophosaurus. Paleontologists colloquially call it the Elvisaurus. It rocked a bizarre bone crest on its skull, looking like Elvis Presley's iconic hair. Don't let the nickname trick you. This was a 23-foot-long biological weapon weighing more than half a ton. It packed a mouthful of inward curving teeth to lock onto targets. Fossil records prove they were merciless. They willingly cannibalized their own kind just to survive. If you were weaker, you were just walking meat. They swallowed up anything with a pulse, leaving nothing but splintered bone behind. If this jungle returned tomorrow, your modern firearms wouldn't even dent a beast like this. But as terrifying as these monsters are, they are nothing compared to the global catastrophe ticking beneath the ice today. We'll get to that impending disaster in a minute, but first, look to the armored tanks of the South. Enter Antarctipelta. This dinosaur was a walking fortress, covered from snout to tail in steel-hard scales. It weighed as much as a fully loaded truck. Its tail was a deadly equalizer. It lacked a rounded bone club. Instead, the plates elongated into a sharp blade. It created a structure identical to the maquahuitl, the infamous obsidian sword wielded by Aztec warriors. Historical accounts state a human swinging it could crush a charging horse's frame with a single strike. Now imagine that weapon scaled up to a 2-ton prehistoric beast. It'd flatten anything in its striking range. Slow and armored's one thing, fast and silent's another. Meet Imperabator, the feathered warrior. This was a 10-foot-long assassin. It was a raptor-like hunter, coated in thick feathers, insulating it against seasonal shifts. It used enormously expanded eyes to hunt in the eternal darkness. The polar night lasted 4 agonizing months. It silently tracked prey through the pitch-black underbrush, bursting from the shadows to take out targets with chilling precision. The late Cretaceous jungles hid an unnamed phantom. We call it the Masked Killer. It was an 8-foot-tall carnivorous dinosaur wielding oversized, scythe-like hand claws. It didn't rely on a bite. It reached out and sank those heavy hooks deep into its catch. It snagged targets off the ground, lifted them up, and ate them right off the bone, like shish kebab meat. You sprint for the coast and dive in to escape. Do you feel lucky? Really? The oceans were a different dimension of danger. Lurking in the murky shallows was Mosasaurus. This 33-foot-long marine reptile possessed a disturbing trick. Its lower jaw was flexible, acting like a conveyor belt. Once it clamped its jaws onto your torso, it utilized a ratchet feeding mechanism. It systematically walked your struggling body down its throat. It'd pull you into the dark in slow motion, giving zero chance of a quick escape. If you dared swim in the brackish river mouths, you faced Scapinorhynchus. This giant goblin shark makes today's ocean predators look like jokes. It was 22 feet long and weighed well over 1 ton. In water so choked with mud you couldn't see your hands, this monster didn't need eyes. It possessed advanced biological sensors in its elongated snout. These detected the microscopic electrical field given off by a beating heart. The water could be pitch black. It sensed your electricity, shot its jaws forward, and unleashed a lightning-fast bite, inflicting catastrophic damage. The scariest part? The preserved DNA and frozen remains of these oceanic monsters are currently locked inside the Antarctic ice. And as I'm going to reveal shortly, that ice vault is already starting to crack open. The sky was owned by dragons. Hovering above the dense canopy was the Antarctic dragon. It was an enormous pterosaur, boasting a terrifying wingspan of over 16 feet. That's wider than the tallest African elephant is tall. It dominated the thermal currents. On the ground, you aren't a tourist. You're an easy snack. With a spear-like beak, it swooped down at highway speeds, forcefully snatching anything moving before they knew what hit them. The ancient environment actively tried to wipe out everything. Despite a climate as hot as modern-day Kenya, this jungle was physically located at the bottom of the world. When winter came, the sun dipped below the horizon and stayed there. The jungle survived 4 brutal months of total polar night. How does a jungle survive without a drop of sunlight? It was an apocalyptic trial of endurance. The canopy went pitch black. Plant life went dormant. Herbivores starved. Carnivores turned on each other in the dark just to survive another week. If the ice melts tomorrow and humanity is forced to migrate to this new continent, we'd still have to survive this same apocalyptic trial. 4 freezing months of total pitch-black darkness. When the freezing dark didn't get you, the Earth itself tried. The Jurassic and Cretaceous periods were intensely active. Antarctica was a tectonic powder keg. Giant fissures spewed toxic ash into the atmosphere. Titanic rivers of hellfire and lava obliterated valleys in minutes. These colossal eruptions triggered wildfires, turning millions of acres of green forests into smoldering ashes. It was a world suspended on a razor's edge. Let's snap back to reality. What if global climate change hits an absolute tipping point? What if that 3-mile thick ice sheet melts and the rainforest returns tomorrow morning? Remember that promise I made you at the start of this video? I told you not to look away because I had a reveal about what this means for us today. And now we're here. This is what I want you to know. If that ice disappears, it isn't a botanical triumph. It's the sudden collapse of modern human civilization. The global sea level would surge by 200 feet. That's 200 feet of unstoppable salt water surging inland across the globe. The map of planet Earth would be forcibly rewritten overnight. Entire regions like Florida would vanish under the waves. The vast Amazon River basin would drown. Major coastal megacities in China would be wiped off the map. We're talking about the panicked migration of 1 to 2 billion people. It'd trigger an unprecedented survival crisis in human history. The global economy would disintegrate. Ocean currents would stall, transforming rich farmlands into barren deserts. Billions would lose their homes, cities, and their way of life in the blink of an eye. A green Antarctica leaves us with one haunting mystery. If the continent thawed, it'd immediately become the ultimate uncharted frontier. We'd have unexplored temperate rainforests larger than the continent of Europe. Hidden beneath those ancient ice sheets right now is preserved biological material. If the ice vanished and life flooded back in, what else might wake up? Scientists are already discovering ancient zombie viruses trapped in the permafrost. If the ice vanished, we wouldn't just face uncharted wilderness. We'd be exposed to microscopic pathogens that haven't seen the light of day in 190 million years. An unleashed Antarctic jungle could be a biological goldmine, or an absolute nightmare. Antarctica's a stark reminder of our planet's deep fragility. It was once a vibrant green corridor for life. The most formidable creatures on Earth fought for daily survival in a land of fire, ice, and perpetual darkness. We walk on a world that balances on a knife's edge. Earth's capable of burying tropical paradises under miles of solid ice, and willing to wipe the slate clean if the temperature shifts just a few degrees. Extinction's always just one major geological event away. The ice will eventually melt. The continents will shift. The ghosts of the past will always wait beneath the surface to reclaim the Earth. The next time you look at a map, don't just see an empty patch of white ice. See the absolute power of the monsters that used to own it. If you survived this journey into Earth's darkest prehistoric jungles, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next one.